Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Hello, Tusky here. If you are wondering what all of that was about, that was my entry for Jazzberry's Wish for a Wonderling contest. Since this is a video on my main channel, I may as well go through the process on making this guy. I have been watching Jazzberry for around 3 to 4 years now, and I am a big fan of his work. So, to make a monster for one of his most unique islands is an opportunity I cannot pass up. Especially since one of the 4 gemstones that the monster needs to contain is my favorite gemstone of all time, Ruby. And with the gemstone I had in mind, I got to work in coming up with ideas for my entry, and it didn't take long before I came up with one. I knew going in I wanted to do a vocalist monster, especially since there are only like 3-ish vocal monsters on Troggle Trench. That's when I remembered, while doing some research on gemstones for a different project, I found out that rubies and sapphires are made from the same material called Corundum. And that gave me the idea to give a monster a dun-dun vocal sound, since it sounds like Corundum. Shortly after, I thought of the idea of making it a Megalodon, since they share a similar-ish last syllable to Corundum, and also because of the Jaws movie going dun-dun, dun-dun, you know? And with that settled, I moved on to drawing concept for a ruby Megalodon. Looking at some reference pictures, I figured that the best place to put the rubies is by turning the skull, spine, and ribs into ruby, giving him an almost fossilized look. With that, I got to work. Starting off with some concept sketches, I wanted to get the head down. I did go through a few iterations on what the head looks like, since it was not the easiest to translate. During the time, I was thinking about color schemes, and I decided to land on a red, teal, and blue color palette. That's when it dawned on me. His scales could be oxidized copper and cobalt. He can be a corroded Corundum Megalodon. With that settled, I moved on to the final render. The sketching phase took a bit since I was stuck on the legs for a bit, and I didn't realize I was using my broken pen. Eventually, I did get through that and moved on to the line art. Of course, me being me, I forgot to record most of it. Although I will say I did use the vector tool for lining the crystal parts, since I wanted him to look more rigid, and the best way of doing that is by having the lines be as straight as possible. Finally, when I moved on to the shading, I did something I rarely ever do, and that is highlights. In all honesty, I could have done more, but also I didn't really know how to do them well, so I settled with what I had done. And there we have it. Here's Corundon. Class, Troggle. Element, Geo. Crystalline structure, Ruby. The Trogglisation process was not kind on poor Corundon. Its once shining copper and cobalt scales have now oxidized into a dull teal and blue hue. No matter how much scraping or scratching he does, the crust wouldn't budge. Not even the spiny Needlebronk could make a dent. While he won't admit it, those hardened scales do come in handy, due to how he isn't the most graceful Troggle in this trench. Any falls, bumps, and bruises will simply bounce right off of him. And there you have it. If you were wondering on how the making the sound went, it went mostly fine. Aside from some minor timing fixes, it went really smoothly. Well, I hope you enjoyed this unexpected video of my process behind the creation of this monster. It is but a taste of what is to come as I finally get to finishing off the last 2 Shardite Singles. But for now, I have to finish playing Silksong. See ya! Dun 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 dun